Okay, guys, welcome to your Thursday night team call, the 22nd of September, one of the craziest months of the year, right? Besides Christmas, I would say this is the craziest month of the year. So the fact that you're here is pretty awesome. So you should be really proud of yourself because I know there's chaos probably going on around you. I know my husband ran out to get my daughter at swim. My son is still doing homework right here on the kitchen table, hasn't showered yet after football practice. I know, I get it, so thank you for committing and being here. I just want you to know I'm seeing you all and it's awesome. So thank you. And my leaders, I see a lot of the diamonds, we lead by example. So you guys are just kind of paving the way. So awesome job. Tonight we have one of our very own, Maria. I would hope you guys know who she is. You see her in a lot of shout outs because she is just a Success Club killer, SC10 and then some, 20, I mean, insane. Her and I actually went to high school together. We lost contact and then found each other through social media. When I was a coach for, oh my gosh, a few days, and I had a shake and share, what we're gonna talk about, ironically, she came. I hadn't seen her in a bazillion years. She walked into my old house and I was like, damn. Whoa, Maria, she just looked phenomenal. She had these tight jeans on. I just was like, shit. And she's really tall. I don't know if you've ever stood next to her. She's really tall. And so I was like, anyway, she said no to me. She was there. I don't know why. I think just to feel things out. It was awesome to see her, but she said no to me. And then she said no to me 4 times at least, Maria, at least. And I left her alone, but I knew she was watching me. And then I sponsored a post. I had a position on my team that was opening up with a downline. I don't remember the exact number, but I was promoting the spot that had opened up. A discount buyer was quitting. They gave me notice, so I was able to transfer her in. And I think it was just the timing. She's now a diamond coach on the team. She's been, Marie, I'm sorry. When did you pop diamond? You've been a diamond since?
Oh, since the end of last year. So it's been a while, at least 8 months.
Yep. Working on 2-star diamond. Full-time mom of 2, Success Club 10 and then some, has never missed. She is just a coach to watch. She's really good on social media. Obviously this is it's difficult to manage. She won't disagree. I mean, she struggles like all of us. But one thing that she's always done is host shake and shares. A lot of times in the community. And so I thought who better than her to share with us what she does both in an in-home setting and in the community. Whenever I get an email from someone that needs a representative from Beachbody, I put it out to usually my personally sponsored coaches. She's the first one that jumps on it. She's really good at them. And it really is how I started my business. It's how I was reintroduced to Maria, which is just really kind of ironic, right, Maria, that you're doing this now. And she's had many, many of them. So I'm going to turn the floor over to her. Pay attention, guys. And before this call is over, I want your calendar out, and I want you thinking about and circling a date that you're going to have a shake and share in your home. Even if you've already had one when you first signed up, it's really such a fun, great opportunity. So Maria, thank you for doing this again. I know it's our second time. The first time my computer did something and we never recorded it. So we've been meaning to have this again. We've brought on so many new coaches. I mean, crazy numbers of coaches. It was due time to do it live again anyway. So it's all yours.
All right, I'm going to try to screen my screen, make sure it works. Okay, can you guys see the presentation?
Yep.
Okay, super. All right, guys, so let me run through this. I will try to be as brief as I can. I'll go over what we're going to talk about, and I'll give you as much detail as I can, and then I'll open the floor up to some questions. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about whether you should have one, what they are, and how do you host them very easily. All right, so big question, should you have one? Absolutely, no doubt about it. You need to have one. You should have more than one, but definitely one. It builds your confidence in speaking and sharing your story. So you're out there with people that you know that are close to you, and it allows you to help. It helps you to learn the way in which you want to share your story, and it just it gets you in front of people before you start working with others that you're not necessarily as close to. And obviously, it kicks off the launch of your business. You will likely hit Success Club, or at least get close enough to it. You'll hopefully sign a coach, if not more than one, and you'll start building new relationships with people. I'll tell you, when I had my first Shake and Share, I had probably 7 to 8 people here. I signed 2 coaches and I sold 4 challenge packs. So if you do it right and you follow up and you put the work in and the time and the effort, you'll definitely reap the benefits from it. Okay, so what are they? In a nutshell, it's a face-to-face opportunity to introduce you and your business. It will allow you to personally share Shakeology and also your story. So it's a great opportunity to do those things. Where can you host a Shake and Share? Well, there's several different ways, as Shane indicated. So doing them in your home, doing them locally at community events, like, for instance, things that are happening in your town, at a school, church, restaurant. There's many different opportunities. And then company events. There's wellness events. I've done a couple of those as well. So let's start off with hosting at home. It's highly recommended that you do this within the first 30 days of you signing as a coach, because it helps push the business forward. It helps kickstart, get you going, getting the message out in the face of those people that are most closely to you, your friends, families, your neighbor, your coworkers. You want to plan this and execute it with your upline. They're there to help you. They're there to support you, and they will be there during your event. If they're not local to you, they can Zoom in. So there's plenty of support out there for you. So you want to invite all of your close family, friends, neighbors, coworkers, people that you feel comfortable with. Planning and prepping. I believe it's best to choose about a date that's 3 weeks out, because if you go too far forward, you're not going to get enough commitment. And if you do it too close to the date, then obviously people have busy lives. They're already making plans several weeks out. So 3 weeks seems to be a pretty good number to me. As far as the day goes, you have to gauge that. What I do usually is ask a few key people, what day of the week do you think will be best for you? I've heard some coaches, they think it's better to do it on a Tuesday or Thursday. For me, as a busy mom, Fridays. Fridays are the best for me, because the weekends are crazy with the kids, and during the week, kids are getting ready, moms are getting kids ready for school and the next day and all that, and you're not going to get someone to come to your house. But that's my experience. But that's something that you should definitely just ask a few of the individuals that you think you want to invite, and then you'll get a good gauge. All right, you want to prep by either ordering a shake sampler, or if you have several different flavors at home, you want to definitely do, if you can do all flavors, that's the best. If not, then you want to have at least 3 or 4 flavors, and you definitely need one of the vegan versions. Think about what recipes you would like to offer. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys, that's not me. So recipes. Think about the recipes that you would like to show and sample, and break it up. Come up with different ideas. Make sure that there's no allergies before you make the recipes, like peanut butter, milk products, that sort of thing. So I always ask. Pull together a shopping list. What are you going to need for those recipes? Make sure that you have your little cups. Get everything all prepared so you're not stressing out that night. And then in terms of finger foods, I usually put out just a couple things. You don't want them to get too full, and you don't want them to think it's a cocktail party. You're really there to share Shakeology and sample it. I always throw together a small table of products and literature. So I will put out all of my DVDs that I have currently, a couple of the books in the menu, definitely the menu plan for 21 Day Fix. I throw out some of the literature, there's the Shakeology brochure that you can download from the back office. There's also a couple of the recipes, calendars, I put those out. I'll put the shake survey, just a couple things that support what it is that we're sharing with them. And then you can do an optional giveaway. You can give away one of the products. You can give away a week's worth of samples, whatever it is. It's entirely up to you. Or you can just give away basically anything. And you could throw that into your inviting by saying, if you bring a friend, you have, double the chance to win a prize or something. So think of some opportunities to have them grab a friend and bring them over so you have even more participation in your event. Okay, so inviting. Develop a flyer. It's definitely a good idea to use a flyer like for your neighbors or coworkers, people that you're close with. It's something that they can pin up on the fridge or just have on the counter. Gives them all the information. Just give them the date, what it is that you'll be sharing with them, and obviously your contact information. Create a Facebook event. I mean, Facebook is one of our number one ways in which to reach out to people. So create that event. Develop a small list. Don't just start inviting like crazy, because first, it's going to seem as if you're spamming, because they're going to look to see how many people are in this Facebook event. And then you do want to keep it rather small, so that you can really key in on giving the most to your presentation. So it's quaint, it's small, but just a good number of people. Post daily in that event. So as you start inviting people and they start accepting, posting daily helps them to get excited about it. So talk about what you'll be doing, what you'll be showing, a little bit of preliminary information about what Shakeology is and how it's beneficial, maybe a little bit about your story, just something that each day that's going to pique their interest and keep them excited about the event coming up. And then always private messages, phone calls, posts, just as much as you can with follow-up. I probably followed up 4 or 5 times when I had my first Shake and Share. You have to keep on people because they just get busy, they forget. Just continue to remind them. All right, so go time. So that evening, prep your table and your ingredients. I always get the ingredients pulled together. I cut them up, your fruits, anything that's going to go in there. Get everything all prepared, your ice, just have everything set out and ready to go. And you can prepare some of the recipes in advance, so it's not too much chaos trying to pull together all these recipes, especially if you're having to wash blenders or Ninja cups. So I usually like to have a couple already made in the fridge, but then I make a few right then and there because it helps them to see how fast it is to make, how convenient, and what it is that you do to pull this shake together and offer it. I mean, it really shows them a lot about just the convenience overall. The goal would be 30 minutes. Get them in and out within 30 minutes, because if you carry on too long, you're going to lose their interest. And if it's too short, you're not going to give them enough time. So have it a very quaint, casual setting. Have people come in, spend 10, 15 minutes mingling, having them talk, waiting for some late people to show up. You're always going to have latecomers. And then get going and try to stay on a consistent schedule. If you develop an outline in your head and you sort of follow it, which I'll go over some of those things with you right now, it'll help to keep yourself on track. All right, definitely have a laptop or your smart TV ready to go, because you want to be able to share a couple videos with them. So you're welcome. Now you're ready to go. You're going to welcome them. Thank you for coming. You're going to introduce your upline. Now your upline, if they're local, they can come in person. If they're not, you can Zoom them in. Have your upline speak first. Have them just, welcome everyone, talk a little bit about the company, the mission, what our objectives are, and it sort of breaks the ice and helps you to feel a little more relaxed. And then it's your turn. Tell them a little bit about you. What is your story? Tell them why you decided to become a coach, what your goals are, and really tell it with heart, because it makes a big difference. Really speak from the heart and just tell them what the difference has made for you thus far, and why you asked them to come and share with you. Okay, so featuring your videos. The first one that I suggest that you feature is, what can Shakeology do for you? It's a really good video. I think it's about 4 minutes long. It really helps them understand a little bit more about the shake outside of what you'll be explaining to them. Then begin sampling. While you're sampling, talk about the flavor options. talk about the various recipes. I mean, there's multiple recipes you can make, obviously, as you know. And then integrate how you could add boosts in there, because now you're also upselling, or you're helping them to understand that there are other products that you can also incorporate with your Shakeology. Talk about the convenience, show them how fast it is to make. Talk about the different packaging options, because some people obviously like the little packets as opposed to the bigger bags. So just talk about all the different various ways that Shakeology can be provided. And then talk about how it's benefited you. Why have you decided to drink it? And how do you feel? What have you benefited from thus far? When you connect yourself and what you feel and what you have seen to date with the product, it makes such an impression, much more than just blabbering out all the features and benefits. They can read a sell sheet. They can go online and do that. If you really connect it to yourself, that really hits home with people. Then go into another video. Talk to them a little bit about challenge groups. So there's a video on YouTube called Ever Feel Like This. It's basically a very short video on challenge groups and how they can support, how they become supportive to this group, to a group of people. So talk to them about how you do that with your current challengers, or how you help your team run a challenge group, so that it really pulls together and they understand that you're just not giving them a shake, but you're giving them that support along with it, and how the community is a really positive environment and such. And then really at this point, you've given them a lot of information already. So hand it back over to your upline. They're going to recap. They're going to talk a little bit about the business opportunity, because you may not be comfortable yet doing that, but it's always good to at least cover that. Just give them a brief overview, because you never know. You may have a couple coaches that are sitting right there in front of you, and then open it up to a Q&A session. Okay, so that's the coverage on home events. And I'm going to keep going through, and then we'll open it up to questions on all events. Okay, so now I'm going to move into a community or a company event. So remember, these are local churches, schools, restaurants, events in your town, and then anything that would be going on at a company. So how do you host at some of these company and community events? So you're going to seek out and confirm early. So look at local papers, look at church bulletins, pay attention to road signs, look at Facebook events that you might be invited to, or you might see others invited to or promoting or interested in. Look for referrals, anyone that you think is very active in the community that you might be able to ask if something is going on. Like, for instance, there is a person that I'm connected with that just happened to post 2 days ago about this event that's happening this weekend. And I jumped right on it. So I'll be at an event this weekend in Newington for 3 hours. And it's a local fundraising event. And I'll be there promoting our products. But just pay attention to those things and take those opportunities, because once you get them, you pretty much have them until you decide not to go. Okay, when you do these though, always ask about the attendance, the floor location, like where you might be placed, and if there are any similar vendors. So when I ask about attendance, see how many people typically attend. Ask them, what their typical audience is, because you don't want to invest a ton of time and money in an event that might draw 30 or 40 people, unless it's not expensive and unless it's not taking a ton of your time. So you want to sort of gauge what you think is going to be valuable for you in the business. Floor location. Make sure that you're asking, where would I be placed? You don't want to be stuck in a corner in a hole. I was placed in a hole at one point during one of my events, and I had to very nicely but firmly request to be put out in the front because I was stuck in a corner. So always try to ask that in advance. And then always ask, is there going to be any similar vendors? Tell them what you do, because you don't want to be there competing with a ton of other companies that are doing what we're doing. So if that is the case and it's a great event, then just make sure that you are far enough away that there's no there's no inconsistencies or issues between the two vendors. Okay, planning and prepping for a community or company event. Table layout. Make sure you bring all your products, whatever you have, and try to have as much as you can. So bring all your DVDs, bring a couple of your booklets, bring any of your boosts, your performance line, any of your shakes that you might have. And what I usually do is I will save a lot of my empty packaging. So if you have boosts, if you have your performance line, or even your empty bags of shake, just bring them. Yeah, save them and bring them. You can pack them with anything, and they can be empty. It's just show. So you want to try to show a nice representation of the product and the brand so that you can convey how much you'll be able to offer them. Also bring literature, just similar to what we talked about for the home. Bring as many brochures as you can on Shakeology. Anything that also supports Shakeology, like the survey, maybe a competitive comparative guide. There's also some of the literature on boosts. Anything that you can get your hands on in the back office or the coach online office as much as you can, because there will be questions that pop up and you want to look and you want to be prepared. Bring your laptop if you can, because you can be running a video, any one of those videos we just talked about that you'll be running in the home event. And then always promote some sort of giveaway. I usually run a giveaway that is 3 or 4 or 5 samples of Shakeology. Why do you want to do a giveaway? I'll be covering that in just a sec. Okay, table signage. Make sure it's prominent. Make sure that you have signage in such a way that when they walk up to that table, even from a few feet away, they're going to know exactly who you are and what you're doing. And prepare samples. What I do is I make them in advance. I put them in my Shakeology cups and I stick them in a cooler. And I just put a whole bunch of ice in. And I bring the little cups. And as they're coming, I will offer them a sample, because it really, really makes a difference for them to taste it, as you know. All right, and then promoting it through your Facebook post. Just talk about, hey, I'm going to be here. If you're in the area, please stop in. And then make sure you tell your local friends, because you obviously want them to support you as well. All right, so go time. What are you doing now when you actually get to the event? Wear and share. Make sure that you have something on that's promoting the brand and yourself as a coach. Be personable, warm, and inviting. I can't say this enough. I've been to so many events, and you probably have as well, where people sit behind the table and they're scrolling their phone, or they're just, whatever, looking around, and they don't say a word until someone says something to them. Don't do that, because they're going to walk right by and they're going to get the wrong impression from you. Stand up, walk around the table. I always position myself in the front of the table, because it becomes a more warm and inviting opportunity for someone to come in and talk. When you're behind the table, it's a completely different interaction with that person. Ask questions, listen, and take notes. I always do that. Ask questions to get them to talk. Listen to what they're saying. Take notes as soon as they walk away, because you want those notes later on when you're following up with them. It's going to show that you care, and it's going to also give you the opportunity to follow up properly. So always, always offer a follow-up to obtain their contact information. Never let anyone walk away without getting their information. I'm very selective in giving someone my business card. Why? Because then that means that I'm going to wait for them to contact me. And you don't want that. You don't want to lose the opportunity. So by getting their information, offering them some sort of way to follow up, where you could possibly offer, well, let me send you this video, or why don't you sign up for this giveaway? I'm giving these shake samples away, or a workout program. If you sign up, you have the opportunity to sample the product. Whatever which way that you would want to provide that follow-up and that opportunity to get their information, do it, because you don't want them walking away. You've just lost the opportunity for a customer. All right, so here's a sample of what my table basically looks like. This was at a church event. So I have a really prominent sign in the front of the table, and then I just lay out all of my products. I put my workouts and my containers on one side, and then I put Shakeology on the other side. In the center is my laptop. So I like to just give a nice, clean presentation, and it allows me to talk to others as well. So it's not overwhelming, but it just creates a nice little presence of, here's what I have to offer, and here's what we can talk about. For Shakeology, I always bring the packets and the bags so they can physically see the difference. And then in the corner, I have my giveaway. I have a nice little prominent sign with a sign-up sheet. So, all right. So, like I said, follow up. Follow up is so super important. You need to email them, text them, call them, whatever it takes. And don't do it just once. Do it twice, do it 3 times, and continue to follow up with them. They just might not be ready. Just like customers that you reach out to on Facebook, social media. Do not give up on them, because they'll come around at some point. And if nothing else, you just continue to send your message to them. Okay, refer to your notes. Always, like I said, write some kind of note down. After they leave, I just jot some sort of note next to their name so that you have something to talk to them about later on. And it shows that you care, that you remembered what they told you. And then add them to your contact list in Coach Online Office, because you can then further market to them in the future when you're running like your e-cards. I have them uploaded, and I'll send them a separate e-card along with all of my Beachbody leads. So it's just another means to have a semi-qualified list. All right, guys, so that's basically it. I'm going to open the floor to any questions, and shoot, who wants to go first?
That was awesome, Maria.
Thanks.
Yeah, you rock.
You guys see there's 2 very different things discussed, right? I'm muting a couple people. Can you just mute yourselves, guys? Karen, could you just mute? It's not letting me mute you.
Madeline's account. That's the one that was just.
Otherwise, I'll just mute you guys. Okay. Now, if you want to talk, please unmute. So, how many of these do you recommend having, Maria, in your home, not events in the community? Oh, Maria, sorry, I must have muted you, or you muted you. There you go.
All right, so you definitely want to do these at least within the first 30 days, like I mentioned, so it really kickstarts your business. Outside of that, it's really great to have one, every 6 months or so, or even, more often, but it depends on what you're doing with other events.
Right.
It creates that opportunity for you to get in the face of more people. And when you have someone here that's actually committed and walked into your home, it's more than likely they're going to sign on.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're going for a reason, guys. Unless they're your BFF, they're going for a reason. There's a reason. And so I don't know if you said this, so I'm sorry if you did, but one of the first questions I like to ask is, tell me what brought you here today. What made you walk through the door? Find out why they're joining us. That's my first question. So tell me what brought you here today. Now, remind you guys, a lot of this isn't just you doing your own. As you bring on coaches, you're going to be doing it with them. So although this sounded like a lot, some of you might be like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. You're not alone. You're doing it with an upline success partner. If your upline's not local, you need to find another coach. If you can, your upline could be available on Zoom for questions. But so I would go with my coach, and while I would be preparing shakes while they were greeting their friends. Okay, it's a team effort. And as the upline for a new coach, I would host the presentation to model for my new coach how to do it. That makes sense? So they would watch me, and then they would feel confident to do their own or do one for their team. And the first question I like is, so, thanks so much for coming. I am actually, let's just say, I'll just say Samantha. I'm actually Samantha's coach. So she wanted me to come in and help out a little bit. So, I appreciate you guys coming, and I would just love to know what brought you here today. The other thing I like to do, guys, is I'm going to ask Samantha to tell me about who's coming, and I want a quick infomercial on them. Give me 30-second commercial. Who's coming? Because that's going to gauge how I present. If she tells me every single person there needs to lose, that is looking to lose significant weight and has medical issues, I'm going to go in there very different than if a coach tells me that she has 2 friends that would rock this business, one that goes to the gym 6 days a week, and another that's a personal trainer. My presentation is not going to be the same. The first group needs help. They are looking to save their life. The other people are looking to share what they love. They're looking to maybe build a business. Very different. Know your audience. It's not hard. I'll say real quick, give me, if things get crazy, like tell me really quick, who are we dealing with? Like, who is this? Okay, all right, what are they? Oh, gotcha. Like, I want to know so I know how to present. The other thing really quick is every one of mine has always gone different. I think I'm going to run it one way, right out the window. Go with it. It's casual. It's in a home. Just go with it. Like, if don't worry if no one will sit down in a round table. You don't have to. Feel the room. You want everyone's attention, and this will be the only thing I want to bring up. Prep your coach. So I'm talking to uplines who are doing it with their coach. Prep your coach to control the room. No, we are not like in school, but we have to be respectful. And so I'll make sure that she goes around and says, hey, listen, can you come join us? We're going to talk for a few minutes. Bring your wine and come here. If you notice side conversations, I'll ask the coach, hey, and they'll go over and say, hey, could you just be quiet for a second? They're trying to listen. There's always a couple friends that are there for the party. And I get it, but guys, we're there because we're sharing our business. So you also want to kind of just put some ground rules and say, hey guys, this is going to be super quick. Can you just give me 10 minutes of your time? And I promise I'll be out of your hair. And just kind of make it light. I've had some that got out of control. I'm going to be honest. It turned into a keg party. And it's something to learn by, right? And that's where, as an upline, you coach your coach on what to let people know that this is a girls' night, but we're going to talk about my business. We're going to sample some Shakeology and have some light snacks. And when it's over, we can have some wine, that kind of thing, so that there's control. That was my only, my biggest advice. Learn from those mistakes that I didn't control the room well enough. And I didn't prep my coach well enough to just kind of say that in a really nice way so that you can get in and you can get out. The other thing, I don't know if Maria mentioned this, is I like to open up a challenge group and show them. Like, I'll show them what goes down in my challenge group so they can see how cool it is and all the sweaty pictures. I don't do anything, I know it's private, so I don't invade the group's privacy, but I just scroll really quick to show them how easy it is. I'll also offer them their own challenge group. Hey, you guys, there's 7 of you here. How cool would it be if we did a challenge group just for you guys? That would be awesome. We can start it in 2 weeks. We'll get your order in. And I find the hardest thing for a coach, and this is where the upline comes in. So uplines, this is where you're going to have to put your Eric Worre hat on and close some stuff. And if you don't feel confident enough, make sure they're bringing a diamond upline with them and say, who's ready to get going? You don't want everyone out there going, okay, thanks for the info, and taking a pamphlet. What's your reservation? Why are you not ready right now? Once you walk out that door, life's going to happen. You walked into this living room for a reason. You shared with me this, this, and this when I asked you why you were here. Why aren't we ready to go right now? Our job is to provide them with a solution. A couple months ago, Carl Deichler was on a wake-up call. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go back to the podcast, find his call, or if someone can please share it in Wild Impact or your team call, that would be great. It wasn't too long ago, maybe 2 months ago, he did a wake-up call, and it stuck with me what he said. Our job starts when they tell you I don't think so. I don't know. That's when our job starts. If you say, okay, I understand, maybe next time, we did not do our job. I'm going to ask you all as your call to action this week to re-listen to Carl's call. I'll try to get the date of when that was. It was about 2 months ago. Very powerful. And you know, he really makes you think so that you can turn the switch and not feel pushy or salesy. That they need our help and we have the solution. And we fail them when we say, okay, that's fine. What's your reservation? Why aren't you ready to get started right now? You shared with me that you're looking to lose 20 pounds and that you're pre-diabetic and that you can't, you know, get out of bed in the morning and that you feel terrible, right? Those are their words. You restate their words and you state, so what's stopping you from getting going right now? I can sign you up right now and put you in my accountability group. Why don't we start right now? Are you ready to go? That's our job. Remember that, guys. I'm just going to read the chat, Maria, unless you caught up. Is there anything in there? Yeah, so someone, it says iPhone 2. I'm sorry. I don't know who that is. I would love to have a shake and chair, but sure, I need someone with me. Absolutely. So you would ask your upline, and if your upline is far away, you know, some people sign people across the country. You look for a local coach. Maybe if you guys, there's another local coach, you can both pick one house and bring your families, bring your friends together. People have done that. So there's someone in Connecticut. We're a small state. And there's someone in 2 different towns, and they pick a town that's kind of central, and they all invite people to one place, or you swap. You come to mine, I come to yours. Uplines can also be zoomed in, but you do need manpower. So I would say if you have an older child, I brought my daughter, which has been awesome, to help me distribute shakes. They have so much fun. Your husband, a best friend, someone to help you, because you do need someone making shakes because you want to be able to engage with your friends. Yeah, you can have those Shakeology signs made. If anyone has a link, you can go to Vistaprint, you can go to Kinko's. I don't know if anyone has a template and wants to share. I actually don't even own one. Maybe someone would let you borrow one, but I don't believe they're expensive. But if someone has like an in on exactly the measurements, or Maria, if you can just share kind of your template or where you had them, that would be awesome. Does Maria prepare the shakes at the public event or just the home parties?
I do both, actually. I will make them in advance at the public opportunities because it makes a difference for them to taste it right then and there.
Yeah, it depends if they have electricity. Sometimes they don't have electricity. When I've done them, I make them fresh. Don't you think they taste better? Like I make my shake at night, but I have a refrigerator. Right? So if you're bringing them, I think it loses it. If you have no choice, not a problem. Otherwise, I shake them right there. That's because I personally have always gone to an event with another coach and we share prospects. I love the team effect because if I'm talking to someone and someone else comes up, now how do you help 2 people? I love having a buddy. Thank you, Lee, Carl, April 15th. Please, everyone, listen to that call. Oh my gosh. Completely changes your outlook on everyone that feels pushy and salesy and you don't want to bother somebody. Totally will change your mindset. April 15th, that's your call to action this week. Thanks, Lee.
Okay.
Thanks, Jamie. She just shared the post to her page. Christy, October 23rd is my first Shake and Share, co-hosting with Rachel and our upline Stephanie. So this was so helpful. Awesome. You guys are going to rock it. At the end of the day, guys, just have fun. Don't worry if it doesn't go like the way you wanted. You know, there's always going to be like, I forgot to say this. It's okay. You know, it should be fun, engaging. Don't stress about it. There's no rules. These are ideas. Your Shake and Share is going to change every time depending on who you have in that room. Trust me. And that's such a good group. You guys are going to rock that. I don't even need to say anything. That's going to be awesome. Christine, we got ours made at Staples. She got the sign made at Staples, ordered online and picked up the same day, not expensive at all to make a banner. And guys, it's a tax write-off.
Right.
Kelly, had my first Shake and Share and had pep talk with Shane and Lou. before, right? And you did it on your own, Kelly. So you guys, I don't want you to think you can't do it on your own. I haven't been to every one of my coaches' shake and shares. There's some that did it on their own, and we prepped, and I was there if they needed me, like I was available on my phone. Like, don't feel like you have to. There's many people very comfortable having their good friends come over. It's just nice. If an upline can do it, that's awesome.
Okay.
AJ, I'm preparing at a health and wellness expo on October 16th. Good timing with this call. That's right. Get out in front of that table, AJ. That's all. The best thing about, Maria, thank you for saying that, is just stand up, put your phone away, and just be out in front. Just be out in front of the table. Best
I'm getting
advice.
my church this weekend.
All right. Anything else? Thank you. The podcast was shared in Wild Impacts from Carl's call. Thank you. That was Jamie. And Madeline's hitting my church this weekend. Smart. Tammy has zoomed in from across the country. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anything else, guys? Okay, look, get your calendars tonight. And I want a tentative date, because I won't hold you to it, because, you know, you got to probably check your kid's schedule. But I want everyone to plan their shake and share, not to mention confidence, about sharing the opportunity, letting your upline model for you so you can learn, getting out there, talking to people. Very, very important. We hide behind our keyboards. It's so easy, right? So easy to hide behind our keyboard. I do it. Awesome. Yeah, Amy, you've done a few. Awesome. Anything else, guys? Just have fun with them. Don't overthink them. And just know that this is such a great way to grow your business face-to-face, and not always. All of it doesn't have to be social media. Was a huge part of my business social media? Absolutely. But it's not the whole pie. There's that little piece that was one-on-one, and I've probably gone to, oh my gosh, 20, 30 shake and shares at least. All right, awesome. Any questions, keep them coming. Otherwise, we'll have the recording up tomorrow so you can watch it again.